Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be back. Happy Thanksgiving, belated Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy belated Thanksgiving to everybody. Hello, people in Yahoo land. Hello, people in TikTok land. Hello, people in YouTube land. Hello, people in LinkedIn land. And hello, people everywhere. Everybody who listens to my videos, hopefully you get something out of it, something good about it, something to say, let me think about this. That would be That would actually make our goal. In behalf of Edmund Hollingsworth, I say hello and belated Thanksgiving to you guys, and he wishes everybody a happy Christmas, happy holidays. And uh, and here we are in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a almost recession. We're getting very close for the bubble to burst, and we got an election predicament going on. Now, from the news that I received from Edmund, from people that I've been talking to, from people that I've been on the phone with, from people who I get in contact with people who I correspond with. So there's different venues. We get information from all over the place. And one of the things that I tell Edmund, and he pushes me, say, you got to get onto this because right now the topic is hot, and you got a lot of understanding on what the situation is and how to decipher it, maybe provide some insightful information to the folks out there in social media and TV land and everywhere. To begin with, I want to reiterate that there is no such thing as fake news. That is a blasphemy and a treachery to anyone who says that. If you are really a patriot, and many of you are Republican patriots, I'm a independent patriot. If you believe what that means, hopefully you believe what that means. I'm an independent patriot. That means I don't swing on the Republican side and I don't swing on the Democratic side. I don't swing on anybody's side. But I do value our heritage. I do value the Constitution. I do value our country, value what we stand for. And I try to be as objective and unbiased as possible when I do my analysis and my commentary. I am learning more and more how to use the technology, and soon I think I'll be able to open up the chat so you guys can actually post whatever you're saying. I'll try to keep it at a slow pace because I don't want it to go too fast, and I won't be able to read it. Then I'll have to get it all back and print it out and look at it one by one and see what everybody's saying. Now I understand from what I've seen also. Edmund has pushed me on to looking at things on TikTok. He has pushed me to look things on Facebook. Now he follows Facebook. I don't, but he does. And Edmund has also uh, looked at pushed me to look at Telegram and WhatsApp or WhatsApp. So he's kind of pushed me to look at some of the things that people are saying, and also to read some of the main, or let's say popular. I would like to use the word popular newspapers and news outlets. So I've looked at all of them and I've seen what everybody's saying. And of course, there's always some bias somewhere along the way. Some take one slant, some take another. That's why it's so important to learn how to read journalism. I mean, to understand journalism and learn how to read the newspaper or learn how to listen to the comments, to the newsreels, or some of the people who do commentaries or opinion shows. I mean, you have to know how to tag this shows. Now, in my case, and I say it, mine is an analysis and commentary uh, channel. So I'm not giving just point blank my opinion. And when I give my opinion, I always underline it. So if I'm giving an opinion right now, I'm going to say, this was my opinion. Now the analysis follows as this. So if we break down some of the data that's on state by state basis, a question was rose, and I thought it was a pretty good question. It's not a and and before I say the question, I want to say social media is a means by the way by the are the means by which people establish a conversation with other people without them being face to face. Now, granted, some people are kind of offensive, some people are kind of crude, some people are so, I mean, they're down in the honky tonk, kind of like in a beer depot or at a merchant's marine station out there in a dock because their mouth is so fouled up they can't express themselves. But we got to take everything with a granular salt and try to understand where those people are coming from and how the frustration that they have. Because I sense a lot of frustration when I hear the TikToks, when I hear the parties, when I hear the WhatsApp, when I hear YouTubes. So when I see some of the Facebooks through Edmund's shoulder that he points out, all that is very important, and that's freedom of expression. So when Trump says, "I want to," I'm going to veto the the bill to finance the military. Well, he wants to defund it because he wants to veto it just because a 230 uh, regulation is not in it to debunk it also. So he wants to debunk the funding the military. He wants to debunk the 230 regulations for the internet, for the use of social media, for the use of any platform that's out there. The newspapers, the media stations, no matter how tarnished they are, because Trump has tarnished all this. That was his main thing. That's always been his main thing for years, ever since I began to not necessarily follow him, but to keep tabs on him. As he went from one wife to another wife. But the point is not necessarily specifically following him, but keeping tabs on him because he's a character that caught my attention and basically caught Edmund's attention because he he fosters or he instigated for the press to be present. And then as he gave whatever information he was giving, whatever opinion he was giving, whether he was criticizing a president, whether he was criticizing a mayor, he was criticizing always a public official. He was also criticizing other competitors using the media sources or outlets. So he would call the media, the reporters to come over here to see him. He would even pay for people to come and see him, and he would give all this, and then somewhere towards the end, he would flip it around and start calling them names. So this began little by little, and it's escalated over time. And over time, he also became more popular because he got into different businesses. Now he got into the airline businesses, which doesn't attract anybody, and he flopped in that one. He got into the casino business, which does attract some media attention, but he flopped on that one. But when he got into the Miss America pageant, that caught a lot of media attention, and he liked it for that media attention. But it became controversial to him, and he ran away from it. And he sold off the Miss America pageant. And then he went into The Apprentice. But between those two, there's a whole lot of things that he tried to do. He tried to swindle people. He tried to develop this flip housing business. real estate business, Trump University, all this are failed ventures that he had. A lot of the things that he still has or he developed because he got leveraged by his father. God rest in peace. You know, may God rest in peace his soul. But nonetheless, that's the trajectory that he has. So that's why I've been keeping tabs on him, and Edmund has been keeping tabs on him. And everything he's doing right now is just things that just do not match the will of the people. He is furious because he lost the election to Joe Biden. He wanted to lose what to Bernie Sanders. Would that have made it better? Would that have made it a lot better if he lost to Bernie Sanders, or if he lost to who do you want to pick out of that line of people that were there? The governor of Ohio, or um, there were several people there. All these people in contesting this deal. So it was something that was moving already, and he wanted the Chinese guy, the young guy. I mean, that was his last name, Young, for the Tom, whatever his last name was, the entrepreneur, owner of a bank, and was part of the resistance or whatever he called himself. Because, of course, I voted for Trump, and I feel like I got bamboozled by him. That's why I just quit. Analyzing his regulation pardons or deregulations that he made, the way that he organized the government, which is pathetic, the way he enacted the Jobs Act with the famous tax cuts, which they are not tax cuts, another bamboozle situation. The only ones that are benefiting from this tax cut are people who earn millions of dollars. I don't benefit from this. Next year I'm going to have to pay more taxes than I paid last year. So on 2021, we're going to be putting in the 2020 tax return, and in that tax return for 2021, we're going to be paying more taxes. We didn't pay. We did get a tax break for the 2019, but on the 2020, we're going to get hit. On the 2021, we're going to get even hit harder. So we're back to square one. So what benefit did that bring everybody? I mean, just read the bill. I challenge the people to read the bill. Actually, download it from Congress.gov. Download it and see what you get out of it. Got a lot of legal jargon, but nothing that you can't get to when it comes to the meat and butter, for the bread and butter. The main course of the bill. It says it right there. Everything is time constrained, so it comes to an end. So, like I said, I'm down to a meal, one meal a day. That's all I eat, one meal a day. Why? Because I can't go for food stamps because I earn too much money. Why? Because Trump lowered the poverty line to such a level that you have to be pushing a buggy homeless to be able to qualify for food stamps and other welfare benefits. You can't get that leverage that you need. Now he gets all this leverage from being in the White House and being in the government. So when you talk about corruption, he ought to look in the mirror because he's standing right in the middle of the corruption and he is the corruption walking. He is the swamp walking. He's not cleaning the swamp. He is the swamp. Same with Jared Kushner and his daughter Ivanka, and Melania Trump. All the people, everybody associated with the Trump gang, all the secretaries of state, Betsy DeVos, William Ross, and everybody in that group. They're all part of the Fat Boy Pompeo. They're all part of the same deal. They're all part of the same corrupt swamp. And they can't point their finger and say, oh, the Democrats are the swampers. Oh, the Democrats are the ones who are making this thing because he likes to be victimized. That's one of the things that I picked up as I was telling Yedman. Look at this pattern. Look at this pattern of speech. Look at this pattern of addressing things. He likes to be victimized. He's a professional victimizing himself. A whiner, professional whiner. He calls himself a professional whiner. So he victimizes himself that everybody is against him. When he is the one who's against everybody. He's the one who instigates it. He's the one who deprives people from their payment because oh, this is bad. I'm not gonna pay you. No, $7,000 is too much. I'll give you 5,000 and kiss your ass goodbye. That's the way he is. And in some cases, I don't like the drapes. I'm going to send them back to you, and I'm not going to pay you nothing. So it's pretty much the way it is. He says something and then he flips it around and he rejects it, and then he wants to get the better part of the deal. Maybe he caught the Israelites and United Arabs and all these people over there in the Middle East. He jacked them up. I mean, they should be smart enough to pick out when somebody's yanking their chain and bamboozle them, stiffen them, jerking them around. They should know better. Netanyahu should know better. I mean, he's an Israelite. He should know better. I mean, that's the bottom line. So what's happening in April of 2020? He began to talk about voter fraud. In fact, he implied voter fraud back in 2019. He started to mention voter fraud in bits and pieces in the different rallies he held. In the press room conference, he talked about voter fraud back in 2019. So he was preparing the ground because he was afraid he was going to lose because he's an unpopular president. He knows he's unpopular. I mean, only a jackass. I mean, maybe a jackass is putting the jackass down too far down in the totem pole. I don't think Trump is stupid. He's an astute individual. And he's wasted intelligence. Whatever intelligence he has, it's wasted because he has used everything that he knows and his astuteness to do harm, to do evil, to jack around, to try to get the best out of you, to jerk you the best. He'll rip you off. And all those words that he uses, he should apply them to himself because that's what he does. He rips people off. He does. He rips them off. He's a thug. He pushes them around. He threatens them. He throws lawsuits, whether they're frivolous lawsuits or not. He just throws them away. I mean, he has the expense account to pay lawyers. He borrows money to live out of borrowed money from the banks. He doesn't pay him back on a technicality or tries not to pay him back, and prolongs the payment. He refinances the loan, and life goes on. So it's a trick. It's a trickery a malicious scheme that he has for doing this. And then he has a Sidney Powell lady who's also a debunked lawyer, which is I'm ashamed of her if she's a lawyer. Even though I'm not a lawyer, I'm an economist and an entrepreneur and a business person, a person who has a management degree. I mean, law schools should be ashamed of her. The law school that gave her her degree and said, you are a lawyer, here's your diploma. They should have one day of Sidney Powell protest because she's putting to shame that school of law. She has destroyed the law. She's not creating law. She's not making law better or giving a better interpretation like Black did as a constitutionalist. No, she's destroying. She's using the law to destroy the people, to destroy the values of the people, to destroy the freedom of the people. She thinks she's defending the people, increasing their freedom. No, she's denying their freedom. She's destroying the freedom of the people. She's destroying the right to work. She's destroying the right to live. That's basically what Sidney Powell is doing, and that Lynn Wood lady. That's why they went on this crusade to Georgia, because it's really a fraud that she's doing. Now, if anybody's a fraud, that's her. Sidney Powell is a fraud. Lynn Wood is a fraud. Rudy Giuliani is a fraud, and all the ding dongs who revolve around him, all the lawyers. Or they're ticks, like tick on a dog. They just want to suck the blood out of Donald Trump. Because right now is the opportunity, because he's crazy. He's saying that there was a big fraud and everybody's stealing the election from him. No, they're not. Nobody's stealing the election. Nobody likes him. Accept it. Nobody likes him. I feel bamboozled from him. I don't agree with none of his policies. He hasn't accomplished a damn thing to help me. He's helped some fishermen over there in Maine by deregulating water that was to preserve the animals, and now they're killing the crabs like crazy, and then pretty soon there's not going to be any crabs left. I mean, the crabs don't multiply like flies. It takes time for the crabs to multiply. Once those people get, use up all the crabs, and they're exporting hundreds and tons and tons of crabs, pretty soon there's not going to be any crabs. If people weren't regulated, there would be no deer left. Absolutely no deer left, because everybody would have killed a deer. There would be no moose left, because nobody took care of the moose and they all got killed. There would be no buffalo left. Why? Because they would kill all the buffaloes. So man, my fellow man, are destroyers. They destroy things. They don't look for things to preserve and say, well, this is a species that we need to, not kill them just for the hell of killing them. Because a lot of people do that. They just kill for the hell of killing. And they take their horns or whatever, and they take it to so they can stuff it and put it on the wall. Others just they gain and let the carcass lay there and rot to death and disappear sooner or later. So it's a situation where the people need to understand. And then there's this guy over there in Arizona that wants to go to the legislature because he doesn't want to send the electorate down to Washington D.C. So the at the electoral college, so the votes can go to Biden. He wants to block that. Now, what in God's name is that man thinking? He's a traitor. He's a traitor to the Constitution, and the people of Arizona should listen to this to my video. Yahoo should give me a little bit of leverage to put it out there in the open so people can see it and listen to it. Especially the people from Arizona. They need to listen to what I'm saying. Because that guy, a legislator from the state, wants to pursue the other legislators not to do it, and he wants to create another fraud. I mean, Biden won Arizona, and now he wants to debunk Arizona because he wants Trump to win. I mean, it's not his will; it's the will of the people. And the will of the people is that they don't like Trump. I'm included. I don't like Trump. For me, I mean, I would have kicked him out of the White House already. But we got to follow procedure, and we got to follow the process. And the 20th of January, he's going to be out. Well, in the meantime, he is creating havoc. He might even create a war. I mean, even if he creates a war, It's only a unilateral war. So he still goes. Comes January 20, he goes. He's out of here. Now he wants to reelect, he wants to run a campaign. And I'm calling to the people of Ohio. I'm calling to the people of West Virginia and Virginia, the people of Kentucky. The people of Kentucky should wake up. All the hillbilly people, all the people in the hills, in the Appalachians, wake up. Mitch McConnell is not representing the state of Kentucky with honor. Mitch McConnell is not honoring the Kentuckians. He is not honoring the truth of the Constitution. He's not honoring the people who need the help. And those few companies that benefit from Mitch McConnell, there, come on, give the people a break, companies. Come on. At one time you were small. You were big like that all the time. Give the people a break. Give the people from Appalachian, from the mountains, a break. Give the working people a break. Have empathy on the people. And Mitch McConnell should be up there. Neither Lindsey Graham should not be there either. South Carolina, what's wrong with you, man? What's wrong with us people in South Carolina? We are here to be a United States of America. We are here to defend our country. We are here to be patriots. We are here to conserve the rights and freedom of every citizen in the United States. That's what we're here for. Now we can have some difference and we can have some issues. And there's a lot of issues to be ironed out. And there's a lot of issues that could have been resolved in the 60s and they weren't. So think back to the 60s. Many people are young and they can't think back to the 60s because everything is blurry. And some of the people who write history books or who write books or who do movies don't depict the 60s as they should be. I mean, it was hell on wheels on the 60s. It was an atrocity in the 60s. But we got through it. We got through the 60s. Woodstock happened in the 70s. We got through it. We got through all the drugs, all the violence that was happening. I mean, it's unfortunate. How many of you remember the way they treated the veterans when they came back? Some of you uh, people who say, "Oh, well, we vote for Donald Trump because he's a great man." What, what is he calling? What did he call John McCain? A loser. What did he call the soldiers? Losers. I mean, he calls people losers, and they go back to the Vietnam War. And when the Vietnam vets came back, where was he? I'm asking you this, people. Where was Donald Trump when the people from the Vietnam War came back? Was he there helping them? Was he there standing for them? Did he create a food bank for them? Did he create a pathway for them? Was he defending them? No, he was not. Period. And that you can look it up. Now, I wish I could give you a list of bibliography. I wish I could give you a list of articles. I wish I could paste everything here so you can see it. That is if you have the time to sit down and read it. I take the time to read. I take the time to analyze. I care about my profession. Not like some of the people like the Sidney Powell woman. She doesn't seem to care for the profession of being an attorney. There's doctors that don't care. The guy that resigned, he don't care about the profession of being a medical professional. There's medical professionals that are talking in TikTok and talking in WhatsApp, and they're saying, we need to get together. We need to do this. Where's a full disclosure? Where's the full disclosure that the CDC should give about the coronavirus? Where's the full disclosure? If not the full disclosure, at least a good half of the disclosure. And they talk about fake news. Where's the truth about the coronavirus? Why is all these people gambling about? Why are the Europeans, Germany, and Australia, and England, France. Why are they rioting and going on the streets? Are they looking for the answer? Are they asking for what the coronavirus is? Are they saying, hey, we want to know, give us the answer, tell us what's going on, how are we going to protect ourselves? Or they want to die? Very simple. You either want to live or you want to die. You want to die? Well, they're going to Donald Trump's side and dying. That's what he wants. When he stood up today for 45 minutes, he said, everybody who's a citizen. Yeah, but what did he mean by everybody who's a citizen? He'll exclude those Latinos. He'll exclude the black. He wants only the white people who are citizens. But to his sad and sorry story, there's a lot of white people who are illegal. A lot of people from the Slavic countries, from countries of like Czechoslovakia, Slovenia, Croatia, Georgia. That's not Georgia here in the United States, but Georgia over there in Eastern Europe, and Bosnia, and so in Russia. There's Russians here, and all those people are white. Of course, Donald Trump wants people from Norway and Switzerland, but they don't want to come. It's the people who are in a state of poverty that want to come because Hollywood, believe it or not, has been great in advertising the United States. If anybody we have to take our hat off to Hollywood because they have promoted the American dream like no one else has. Not even the U.S. Broadcasting Network out of the government that shoots us a bunch of propaganda matches what Hollywood has done to promote the American dream. So people want to come to America because here is where the miracle happens. But not with Donald Trump. With Donald Trump, the miracle fades away because he stops the incentive of people. He stops the imagination of people. He stops the desire of people. He stops the education of people. He stops the desire for people to achieve greater things. He stops all that. He doesn't want that. That's why he promotes vocational schools. I guess we're going to have a fleet of plumbers, electricians, carpenters, woodsmen, handymen, and no other profession exists. Then he runs around like a gangster. But he doesn't, a kingpin, a leader of organized crime, walks around and gives respect to the people, gives respect to the other person, respects them. And the other person, in return, respects them, the leader of this organized crime. There's a mutual respect. Trump doesn't respect me. He doesn't respect the next door neighbor. He doesn't respect the people of Indiana. He doesn't respect the people of Texas. He doesn't respect the people of California. He doesn't respect the people of New Mexico. He doesn't respect the people of North Dakota. He doesn't respect the people of Utah. He doesn't respect the people of Illinois. He doesn't respect the people of Ohio. He doesn't respect the people of New Jersey. He doesn't respect the people of New York. He doesn't respect the people of South Carolina. He doesn't respect the people of Alabama. He doesn't respect the people of Florida. He doesn't respect the people of Louisiana. He doesn't respect the people of Oklahoma. He doesn't respect because it's all about him. It's all about me. Me. And everybody can go to hell. Those are Trump's words. And not just because I'm saying it right now to you guys over this YouTube video. I'm saying it because that's what the articles come out to say when they speak about him. When he was a so-called developer and putting up buildings and remodeling this building and doing this hotel, and he would bid on it. and he would go out there and cuss the people out. What kind of a person is that? So he's not even liked among the other developers. He's not liked among the community, the other. Maybe he's liked in some circles. Maybe they like him in some circles. Maybe they think he's a funny guy. He's a humorous guy. I never thought he was a humorous guy. I never thought he was a happy guy. I never thought he was an empowering guy who would empower others or even empower himself. No, I didn't think that. Me. That's me. That's my opinion. But he never came across to me as a person with those qualities or character. He always came to me across as someone who is an evil person, to put it in those terms. I could go on and say all kinds of adjectives, but I think an evil person sums it up pretty well. That's how he came across to me. And the vocabulary that he developed over time is a vocabulary that he's using right now because that's the only one that actually creates this effect that he knows a lot. They're ripping us off. They're taking this us from us. It's the Democrats. The Democrats are coming against me. Yeah, nobody would come against him if he would have done things right. Nobody would have said anything against him if he would actually been doing his job the way he should. Nobody would have said anything about what he was doing if he would have catered to the people right. But he didn't do that. It was all about Donald Trump. It was all about himself and how he could now have the bully pulpit, because that's what it is, the bully pulpit, because he's a bully. And he started to knock off the news, calling them terrorists, calling them all this name. And that only conveyed to me the ignorance that he has with respect to journalism. And he says, "You guys should be true journalists." And looking at the story, I mean, is anybody telling him how to do his job? And then he tells the people a bunch of fibs, and then he does another thing. He got out of the WHO, and why was he behind the scenes trying to reconnect to the WHO behind the scenes, connect to the WHO, and reform the WHO according to what he thinks. Now, what everybody else thinks according to his things. And his way is the right way, or you guys get the highway. Pretty simple stuff. It's not complicated. Now, he's going to scam you. Yeah, he's going to scam you. So that's why he bamboozled me, because I fell for his lies. I thought he was going to be better than Hillary. But at the rate that he's going, I think Hillary would have been better than him. Tell you the truth. With all the setbacks or the shortcomings of Hillary Clinton, I think she would have been a better president than Donald Trump. Point blank. Cards on the table with no Trump card in the 52 cards. So it's clear that what's happening right now, it's a big fraud gambit. There's no fraud because millions of people don't like him. And he hates that the people express negatively against him. He doesn't like that. And that's the way he has to live. And he wants to come back on 2024. Good luck, man. Because you come back, you're not in my square. And I can speak for Edmund. You're not in Edmund Square. And hopefully I can speak for many others who are listening to me. You're not in their square. Because you have not come through. Anything that you've done is not readily helpful to the economy or to us. Now you keep pointing to the stock index, the New York Stock Exchange, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq that is going up. Yeah, the investment's going up. The investors are pumping in money, and companies are growing, and certain sectors are growing more than others. But when you come down to the working class, we're not getting any better. We're not benefiting because Tesla now has a higher stock. We can't buy Tesla cars. I can't buy a Tesla car. I'm happy if I can buy a Chevy or a Ford or a Toyota. But it comes down to that. It comes down to that bottom line. So it's and like I said, I have to work 2 jobs because I don't qualify for welfare because I'm not pouring it, and I only eat 1 meal a day. Am I complaining? No, I'm not complaining. I'm just letting you know what the facts are. It's kind of like I mentioned in another video that old sitcom that used to be hanging around Dragnet. The two police officers would tell the person who they were interviewing, "We just want the facts, sir or ma'am, just the facts, no double talk, just the facts." And that's what I'm giving you, just the facts. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I mean, I'm just telling you because I want you to know that I'm like you. And we're sticking together if you want to. This is your choice. If you want to stick together or not. But what's happening in Georgia is a gambit. What's happening with the legislature in Arizona is a gambit. And those people and the people who are and the Sidney Powell and the Linwood and all these other people who are trying to debunk what has already been spoken, and what has already been said, and what has already been written, let it stay like that. Because those people are looking after their own hide. They want to kiss ass to Donald Trump. It's not worth it. Those legislature better wake up and smell the coffee. It's not worth it to kiss Donald Trump's ass. There's no benefit. There's more cost than benefit. You lose your identity and you lose your character if you kiss his ass. Might as well kiss Satan's ass. You get more benefits from him than from Donald Trump. That comes down to what it is. Sorry that I went off in this manner, but I just wanted you to know. Be careful, everybody, that don't let Donald Trump debunk the regulation of 2030 because this privilege that we have and this right that we have and the freedom of speech will be debunked as well. So that's one thing. What is he doing right now? He's destroying the inventory. What else is he doing right now? He created this thing of firing squad. What's he going to go out there and kill everybody? Kill them on the spot? That's what a firing squad is. You know, oh, this guy's protesting me and blah blah blah. Well, get 5 cops and shoot him. Are we in the Wild West? Are we in the revolution? Are we preparing for a civil war? See, so we got to think about that. And then he's obstructing the transition team. He's an obstructionist to the transition. That's being a traitor. Point blank. That's Donald Trump being a traitor. He's committed treason. That's true. Straightforward treason. Now, will Mitch McConnell acknowledge that? Maybe not. Maybe because the Chinese wife he has is a Secretary of Transportation. And Donald Trump put her there. Whether she's doing a good job or not, I don't see her doing a good job. The truck drivers are full of regulations. The truck drivers have a huge burden on their back. And that's because of her. So she's doing it, happy-go-lucky individual. And Health and Human Services, Azar. I mean, he's worthless. He's a zero to the left. He's in the negative numbers. None of them are good people. They're all bad people. It's just one thing after another that just doesn't work. So I think I will leave you guys because I got things to do, and I think people are going to come soon. You guys take care and forevermore. God bless you and have a Merry, Merry Christmas.